So let's try and graph this here. Now, the first thing, let's do these steps, you guys. The first step is to always find your middle line. Okay? And your middle line is simply halfway in between your max value of the graph and your min value of the graph. Okay? So I'm just, for this one, I see -7 down here. I see +1 in here. That's a distance of 8. I'm just going to go 4 down from either the bottom or the top to find my middle line. So it's going to be at -3, right? Okay? So split that. Split the picture into its 2 equal parts by the middle line. Okay? Because I know my anchor point's going to fall on there. It can be both. We just went over that. Yeah, I can find a bunch of cosine graphs. I can find a bunch of sine graphs. It just depends where I start. Okay, and we get to choose. Okay, but find your middle line. And then the second thing is find one complete curve somewhere from that middle line. So it doesn't really matter where to start with. If I start here at pi, okay, or sorry, minus pi, and go up to this spot right here, all right, that's one complete sine curve, right? Okay, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get to the bottom of my period here. Okay, what's the period of this graph? You need to know what the pieces of the graph are broken into to be able to measure that. Okay, so let's find out what one of these boxes are. So if 1, 2, 3 of these boxes is pi over 2, how much is one box? Pi over 6. If I divide pi over 2 into 3 pieces, it gives me pi over 6, right? Okay, so that means that from here to here, I just want to count how many pi over 6 there are to find my period. So let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pi over 6. Did I do that right? Let's see again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pi over 6. That's the period of the graph. Is that okay? All right. So it's kind of a weird number, but it doesn't matter. It is what it is. Okay. So now we're going to go find the b. And we're going to find out pieces for our equation now, right? We're just trying to fill in A, B, H, and K. All right? So we need B. Okay? So my B is going to be 10 pi over 6. 2 pi times, I did that wrong. Okay? Yeah. So our B is going to be 2 pi times 6 over 10 pi, right? So these ones cancel out, and it looks like my b in the end is going to turn out to be, what, 12? 6 over 5. So that's kind of an important number. That's the hardest work. Like what we've got done here now is really the toughest thing. So let's go up here now, and it says let's do one sine curve and one cosine curve. So let's stick sine in here. We'll put x there. Okay, and let's just start from left to right. So what's the amplitude of my? Well, let's make a starting point. What's the best curve? What's the best sine curve to start at here? Where would I go? Right here, right? Okay, it's the closest one to the y-axis. So it's going to be minus pi over 6 is where my anchor point is going to start. Okay? This is also a good sine curve. This is also a good sine curve, but the best one is the one that's closest to the y-axis. Yeah. Okay? Is this going to be a plus or a minus sine curve? Minus. Okay, so I can put a minus out in front. We already figured out our amplitude here, right? We know that it's 4. Okay? Our b is done here. So 6/5 can go in front of the x. Okay? And how much did I move to the left here? Pi over 6. So this is going to be plus pi over 6 on that on the inside. And then I've moved this anchor point down. How much? 3. So minus 3. So my graph y is equal to, minus 4 sine 6/5 x plus pi over 6 minus 3. Okay? Okay? Not that big of a deal. This is really the only challenge. Watch how easy it is now, though, to do the cos curve. All right? So my first cos curve that's closest is going to be here, right? So that makes this my anchor point. Okay? Well, let's think of it this way. How much of this is going to change? Is the amplitude going to change? No. It's still the same height, right? The graph has still been stretched the same amount. Okay? What about the period? Is that going to change? No, I haven't stretched it or done anything to go from equation to equation. It's still the same curve. Okay? Same with this, right? The anchor point hasn't moved up or down either. The only thing that you have to do is to change for the cos curve is the orientation and obviously the sine to cos. But you have to figure out how far to the left or right you want it to go. Okay? Everything else stays the same. So here when I go y is equal to, I can put the 4, I can put the x I can't do. Okay, the 6/5 I can put, right? Okay, and the minus 3 I can put. All right, so the only thing I need to figure out is this. I know I want this to be cos. Sorry, I got it small in there. Okay. Okay, yeah, so now the only two things, this is what I'm trying to say. The only two things that you have to change, maybe, is the orientation. So this is going to be a minus cos starting here, you're right. And then I have to figure out this distance. So this distance looks like half of pi over 2, doesn't it? Okay, it's 1.5 units. Or half, yeah, so pi over 4. So minus pi over 4 goes in there. And that's it. Okay? Like, it can't get tougher than that. Like, it's got everything included. All right?
Wait, it's not family. What?